And so I finally talked mom into at least signing the papers. But then her mother was kind of reeling and rocking. Why y'all want to get married? What do you mean, why we want to get married? Ain't that what we supposed to do? And she told me she was a beautiful woman. We call her mom. I pulled her off to the side. I said, "Well, what's the matter?" And she says, "Let me ask you something. Now, now, ain't nothing wrong with it, is no, no, nothing's wrong with her. Nothing's wrong with her. Then why y'all want to do that?" I said, "We just want to be together." And she said, "Oh, okay. If that's what you think you want to do." And so she pulled Ruby over to the side, and I know she asked her the same questions. And finally, she gave consent. Being married at 18 and 19 was, I don't know why it was so unthought of in the 70s when previous generation got married at 13, 14, 15. Can I get a witness? And so I married her. Best thing that I've ever done outside saying yes to the Lord. I married her. And even in getting married, we had some tough years because uh, came a time in that early period of our relationship that we fell on hard times. I mean, no job, 3 children, no rent money. And I had just got through wrestling with God as Jacob wrestled with the angel about my call to the ministry because I had so refined my bad boy persona until I didn't want to give it up if I didn't have to, and he made me give it up. And so I prayed about it, and God did some other phenomenal things that I won't necessarily include here, but after about the third day, my wife looked at me and she says, uh, "What's wrong with you?" I says, "Nothing." And then I got up and started praying one morning early, got out the bed because I couldn't sleep no way. And I went in the front room and got on my knees. Somebody need to hear this. And got on my knees. And I talked to the Lord. And I said to the Lord that, you know, you're not going to let me win this, are you? You see that I'm not even in church, bro. You remember when I got out of church? I'm not even in church, and I've been waiting on you all my life. I kept sermon notes of every preacher that preached and every text that they took, and you never returned to me. But now all of a sudden, you want me to go preach. Go back down to that place where everybody know that I ain't been in a few years and tell them that I'm a preacher now. If you say so, Lord, I'm going. And so let me just, I want you to see the picture. The picture is during these hard times, something happened. First of all, in 72, had a boy named Lou. In 73, I had Fuzzy Lee in 74. Here comes Sonia, my baby girl. And I still couldn't make ends meet. I was hurting so badly until Mama used to come by and put care packages on my porch so that we can have something to eat. Anybody even know where that place is? And she put care packages there. Things got so rough, I'm going to tell you, this is what sealed the deal for real. I told Ruby that I couldn't find a job. And I said to her, we were living now on 43rd Place off of Central in one of those great big Victorian houses that's crawling with you know what I'm trying to say. That too, you know. And I said to Ruby, I says, Rube, uh, you can go now. And I tried to get rid of her. My feelings were hurt. I felt like I was less than a man. I'm doubting now because maybe I did make a mistake in the call. I went into the pantry of that great big house, looked in the refrigerator and found a piece of wilted lettuce and put a little bit of sandwich spread on it, placed it in my mouth and said, just go. She says, where am I going? I said, go to your mama. She'll take you in where you guys, the children, y'all can eat and be all right. And she looked at me and she said, why? I said, look, I can't pay the rent. Dan, the landlord, is about to put us on the street. He's going to put all our stuff on the street. I can't find a job. She said, but where you going? I said, I don't know where I'm going. She said, well, wherever you go, that's where I'm going to be. And it was that day that I made the determination if she hung with me through this season, that nothing that I have would be too good for her. Finally, fast forwarding just a little bit, because I know it's getting late, but uh, we got over that. Notwithstanding and transitioning, she had some real challenges personally. 74, when my daughter was born, she grown enough for everybody to know how old she is. 74, when she was born, my wife and my daughter couldn't come home. My daughter had jaundice, and I don't know what Ruby had, but the doctor said that I needed to be prepared to receive her and give her shots every day. And so I need you to know this because some of you might be going through something and you need to know how to get out of the struggle. The same one that I wrestled with to keep from going into the ministry now, I went back to him, to that same place, and got down on my knees and said, now, okay, Lord, what's up? Now, we just had this conversation. I told you I was going. You know I'm going. We've already settled that. My wife is sick and can't come home. My baby's sick and can't come home. And God said, I'm sending her now. And before I can get off my knees, the phone was ringing. And she was saying, "Come get me." Her second biggest challenge was in 2009 when she was detected with breast cancer. She's a breast cancer survivor. And I didn't know anything else to do but to go back to God again and say, "Now, Lord, you know, what's going on? Can't you do something here?" And God said he was healing her. She had to go through that transition there, but she never took any medication. She never had any pain, no real discomfort from '09 until just recently. And recently I saw that she was struggling again. And she said, "Are you praying for me?" I said, "You know I'm praying for you." I said, "The whole church is praying for you. You got everybody praying for you." And the load got really heavy this time. And the load got so heavy that um, her supply of oxygen was not high enough. And so she had to wear a mask every day and sleep in it every night. She was taking 4 liters of oxygen a minute, and wasn't very long until that number rose to 15. And I said, "Are you okay?" She says, I feel good. Okay. I just can't breathe. I said, "You're not in any pain?" "I'm not in any pain. I just can't breathe." I sought the Lord. Anybody know what prayer can do? I sought the Lord, and I asked him again uh, to help my wife. Now, you need to know that when I come out here, people look at you and they say, "Oh, you're such a strong man. You just don't know what's holding me up." I asked the Lord to help me. And all of a sudden, my mind fell not so much on Solomon right here, but it fell on David. David, who was a man after God's heart. David that uh, would get himself in trouble all the time. But he had one secret weapon. He knew how to pray. He would say, "Create in me, Lord, a clean heart, and then renew in me a right spirit." David had his struggles, and not that we have the same struggles, but David had some struggles. David was a king, and he had people on the battlefield. David stole a man's wife and knew he was wrong and put a husband on the front line that he might lose his life. Anybody with me? And all of a sudden, Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, gave birth to a child that David loved dearly. David loved that child, but David had gotten the child and the mother in a way that brought reproach upon God. Nathan said to David, "David, I know what you did, but God already done dealt with that. It's not that. That's not what God is angry about. What God is angry about is that you put his reputation on the line." And so David wept every day, praying for the life of this child. And I want you to know that even though I can smile around here sometime, that's how come you didn't get an answer on some of your calls. I wish I had a witness. I didn't want a party line. I needed to talk to him myself. I spent some nights crying. I spent some days crying. I spent some hours trying to make things better. I'm saying so much until I forget to tell you that when she resolved to stay with me, she did me a great favor because she brought the type of peace into this house that a lot of other pastors can't achieve. Sister Thomas never would step out of line. I heard it being referenced. She kept copious notes. If you gave her an assignment, she was going to keep it to the T. And if you had a ruling, she was going to keep that too and make certain you do also. Now, she didn't like to be late anywhere. She wanted to be on time. And this is one of her downfalls that I'm going to share with you. Sunday mornings, I get up early, turn my shower on, run downstairs to get a cup of coffee, come back upstairs to jump in the shower because I know I left her in bed, and when I got back, she's in my shower. And then she walks out and says, "Now don't you be late." David had some issues that kept him crying out to the Lord. David's servants came to him and said, "Man, you haven't eaten, you haven't changed your clothes, you haven't washed up. What's the matter with you?" Others just stood around and looked with great hesitation because they didn't know that if they were to make the king upset, what he would do. David all of a sudden noticed that in the house, people started acting funny. And in so doing, he asked the question, "What's wrong with the baby? Is he dead?" And they said, "Yes, King, he's dead." David got up, changed his clothing, took himself and washed himself up, went down to the temple to pray, came back to the house and said, what you got cooking? Cook me something to eat." They said, "King, I don't understand. All the time while your son was sick, you fasted and you wept for him and you never ceased praying." David simply said that while the child was alive, I didn't doubt the power of God's grace because I knew he was able to do it. But after the child died, David said, "I don't need to fast for him anymore. I don't need to pray for him anymore because he can't come back here. But here's one thing I want you to know. Where he is, I can go to him." It hurt my heart tremendously to have to release Sister Thomas. She reached out to me in love even to the last moment. All she wanted me to know was that She didn't want to suffer. She refused to be resuscitated. She said she's not going to take any other medication. She said, if I got to live like this, I got a better place I can be. And so I said, oh, baby, come on, honey, don't do that. Don't talk like that. And I'm grabbing her, trying to console her. And she looks at me and says, I'm ready to go. Will you please just let me go? Now I have to digress just a moment because I want to add this to your understanding. I lived here on Peace Street as a kid with my granddad and grandmother for a spell, and my granddad would be sitting out watching the birds, and I would stand and watch him with him. Finally, uh, he bought me some birds. He bought me pigeons, and one of the pigeons I had, um, he'll fly up so high, and then he tumble like he's coming to the ground, and then he catch it. And I said, what's wrong with him? He said, that's called a tumbler, son. He's all right. He bought me another one that flew away. And I didn't know where the bird was. And he says, do you have any food and water in the cage? I said, yeah, but he's not in there. He said, oh, he'll be there. Got up one morning and the bird was in the cage. I said, where did he come from? He said, I don't know where he came from, but he lives here. He's called a homing pigeon. Do I have a witness? And so just before Sister Thomas took her flight, I saw a morphosis happening in her personality because she was more than just a ruby. God had given me an angel. She struggled and said, let me go. And I said, baby, I'm not going to keep you here. And I took my hands off her. And she just flew on away. Now, I'm too happy to be sad because I know where she is. And the Bible said, let the work I've done speak for me. And today she has spoken volumes in the life of many, and I don't want you to forget it. You can call her Rube. You can call her Sister Thomas. You can call her friend. But today, God recognized her as a servant. 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 What a wonderful thing it is to be a servant of God. In closing today, weeping may endure for a night. Look at your neighbor and say, for a night. It may endure for a night. But one thing I'm certain of, if you hang in here long enough, joy, y'all gonna mess with me now, it's gonna come in the morning. Sure ain't no harm to know where your help comes from. David said, I will lift mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. All of my help, you know what I'm talking about. All of my help comes from the Lord, the same God that made heaven and the earth. Do I have a witness? One songwriter said, oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we often bear. All because, do I have a witness over here? All because I would not carry everything to God in prayer. Is that all right? Prayer will pick you up. Do I have a witness? Prayer will turn you around. Prayer will plant your feet, y'all, on solid ground. Is that right? And I'm not worried about it. Great God, all that we've been through was just so we can understand who Ruby was becoming. Is that all right? And I'm glad somewhere in glory her name's been signed on the precious Lamb of life. Is that right? I'm glad that one glad morning when this life is over, we too gonna fly. Do I have a witness? Maybe early in the morning, it may be late at night, but one thing I know, he's coming back again. Do I have a witness? I said, do I have a witness? Yes. I better close here before the officials come out. But isn't God all right? I said, isn't God all right? Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, God is surely all right. Is that right? I belong to him. He's mine, and I am his. Is that all right? I'm going to hang on in there until I hear my servant say, you've been faithful over a few things. Come on up now. I'll make you ruler over many. Isn't it all right? Now we might have some noisy neighbors that want to join in with us. I got to close here, but here's the time. You ought to be willing to say yes to the Lord. Is there anybody in the house that the Lord has been good to? Why don't you wave your hand and just say yes, yes, yes. Isn't God all right? He will. I said he will supply your every need. Yes. I said yes. It took a while for me to understand what a ruby was. But I thank God that you cannot match her. Is that right? She is what she is, and she is what God have created her to be. Absent from this body has rendered her present with the Lord. Stay with the Lord. I said, stay with the Lord. He will supply your every need. I will trust in the Lord. I will trust in the Lord. I will trust y'all in the Lord till I die. I will. I will trust in the Lord. I will trust in the Lord. I don't know how long we're going to be around here, but one thing I want you to practice doing, I am going to treat everybody right. I'm going to treat everybody right. I am going to treat everybody right till I die. I'm going to treat everybody right. I'm going to treat everybody right. I'm gonna treat everybody right till I die. All right, now I have some instructions for you. We gotta be in Whittier, those who are going, by 2 o'clock. And so I'm going to ask my good friend Bo if he would come and make provisions that we can have a parting view. And I want you to move the process along so that we won't be in violation of our contract. The house that she used to live in. Everyone cannot come at once, but I'm going to ask that those of you that are coming to try to employ some semblance of social distancing. All right, I got instruction for you. Those of you that are standing on the lot, you're going to be viewing first. Those of you that are going to the cemetery, once you view, go directly to your cars. At this time, we're going to ask those of you, if you would distance yourself accordingly and just come this way now. I'm going to treat everybody right. I'm going to treat everybody. Till I die, I'm gonna watch, fight and pray. I'm going to watch, fight and pray. I'm gonna watch, fight and pray till I die. I'm going to watch, fight and pray. I'm going to watch, fight and pray. I'm going to watch, fight and pray till I die. I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield till I die. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield till I die. Ooh. Gonna watch, fight and pray. I'm gonna watch,
till I die. I'm gonna watch, fight, and pray. I'm gonna watch, fight, and pray. I'm gonna watch, fight, and pray until I die. Some glad morning when this life is over, oh, I fly away to a man. Oh, I fly away. Oh, I fly away. Oh, glory, I fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I fly away. Oh, soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we're going to see the King. Oh, no more dying day. We are going to see the King. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're going to sing. Oh, soon, soon and very soon. We are going to see the King. Soon and very soon. Soon and very soon. We are going to see the King. Soon and very soon. Soon and very soon. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah. He's going to see the King. No more dying, no more dying. We are going to see the King. No more dying there. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. No more dying. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah.